So the Raycon Gaming Headphones came out not too long ago, and I bought them almost as soon as they released. I think Raycon has been making some significant improvements in the audio quality as I've gone from hating their products to recommending them. But now, as I've been testing their $120 pair of gaming headphones, I'm not too sure about this pair. So welcome to my review of the Raycon Gaming Headphones. Let's dive right in. The exterior design is pretty good on this headset. They feel weighty enough and the materials feel pretty sturdy. These do feel pretty great and they sport this cloth for both the ear cuffs and the headband itself. These are pretty soft and they appear to be of pretty good quality. You are also going to find this yellow light around the cuffs and a Raycon logo. That looks pretty good in my opinion. On the right, you're going to find an M button, a power toggle, and a lighting toggle. On the left, you're going to find a mute switch for the microphone, a volume wheel, a 3.5mm jack, a USB-C port, and a retractable microphone. So this headset does look really cool, and I would say that they definitely nailed it in terms of the looks and the build. Raycon has always excelled in this department, and they did it again here. Now, in terms of comfort, I didn't really find these to be too terribly comfortable, and it is because these are a little bit big for my head, but also because of the cloth. There's something about the texture that doesn't really sit very well on my ears or head, and this has mostly been the case for me when it comes to cloth padding. I just personally prefer some variant of leather instead of cloth, and I know that some might actually find that kind of odd, and I totally get why. So while these are better at preventing sweat or excessive sweating around your ears, I can't wear them for too long because of the texture. Like, they just don't feel very good in my ears to me. Granted, my biggest issue is really with the size, and unfortunately, they just aren't snug as a result for me, so I don't find them to be very comfortable personally. Now let's talk about the microphone quality. And I'm sorry, but this microphone is pretty bad, even compared to a lot of other headsets, as I know that every single gaming headset that I've tested has a bad microphone. It sounds very compressed, like extremely so, and I cannot make out very well what I'm saying in the playback. For some reason, a lot of gaming headsets just have this sound compression active that just makes microphones sound worse. I would rather let more noise in and get a clearer sound than rejecting most of the sound around me while destroying my own voice in the process. So have a listen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, this is what this microphone is going to sound like, and unfortunately, it doesn't sound very good. Right now, I am speaking directly into it. There haven't been any changes made to it whatsoever. This is just what this microphone is going to sound like as soon as we turn it on and start rolling with it. So yeah, this is what you should expect. Now this headset has 3 different sound profiles, those being pure sound, bass sound, and balanced sound. Now my understanding is that balanced sound is supposed to be a more audibly pleasant sound profile with a more balanced soundstage. Pure sound tries to emphasize the highs more, which is going to be better for certain types of music and gaming experiences. Bass sound is supposed to just lower the low end to offer more bass. But from my experience, all of these sound very close to one another. I've been testing these for the past month, so it's not from 5 minutes of testing that I'm getting these results, but rather from continuously trying to switch the sound profiles over the course of the month over different tasks that I've gotten these. Allow me to elaborate more, and I will talk about how these perform for listening to music as well as gaming. But first, let's begin with the gaming test. I tested a variety of different games, but the result was mostly the same with all of them because they all had the same problem for the most part. With all 3 modes, the biggest issue with the bass as it was just too high. This was especially noticeable in bass boost and balance modes. For some reason, the bass was just too much to bear on both of these modes, with bass boost obviously being worse than balance mode. The muddiness of the bass just makes it very difficult to create a wide soundstage, which you would expect from a surround sound pair of headphones like these. The mids and especially the highs get lost in the bass and the low end, which messes with the sound here. If a lot of things are going on at the same time, like background music, background sound effects, the ambient, main sound effects, voices, etc., they all get mushed together, drowned out by the lowest frequencies in the audio. So I definitely would not recommend going for either of these sound signatures, but pure sound was actually the better mode here, though that isn't really saying too much. This mode increases the highs and balances things out a little bit better, but the soundstage is still far too narrow for these to serve the purpose that they are supposed to serve. These are not good for gaming, and the soundstage, along with the sound signature, does ruin the gaming experience for me. Hopefully I did a decent job at explaining why these don't sound good. When it comes to listening to music, we have a similar issue, but depending on what you're listening to, it won't be quite as extreme. But the overwhelming bass is definitely still a problem in every sound profile that you choose to use. For example, a genre that generally benefits from bass, like hip hop, and every song gets absolutely drowned in the lower frequencies. Even in genres like metal that really don't benefit all that much from lower frequencies, sound incredibly muddy and unpleasant to listen to. Now, when it comes to the battery life, I want to note that these connect to your PC over USB Wi-Fi receiver or Bluetooth receiver. And generally speaking, you can expect about 25 hours on average, which is actually pretty good. So yes, I'm very disappointed in this headset. This is a departure from even their most recent regular pair of headphones and the $50 gaming headset market. I'd be willing to overlook the comfort of if these offered a proper sound. Now, this kind of criticism is important in order to improve a product, and I know that Raycon is watching this video, so I would like to say this. This headset had potential at first glance. However, the audio needs to be tuned greatly. Let's lower the bass significantly so that we can enjoy the other frequencies and get the most out of this pair. Also, I would love to see a slot in this headset to store the dongle in so that it's harder to lose and easier to transport around. Let's even get rid of that retractable microphone and let's aim to put that budget towards the sound quality itself, since that is the most important thing about any pair of headphones or gaming headset. But for now, I can't recommend the gaming headphones. But when there is another iteration of these, I would be happy to try them out and see how much they've improved. But for now, unfortunately, I can't give these a recommendation. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way up until the very end. It is always appreciated. I am going to be leaving links to this headset if you are still interested in it down in the description. They're not affiliate links, so don't worry about that. I would also love to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, beginning with the tier 3s. Omar, thank you so much for all of your support because it really does go a very long way. And everybody else, like the tier 2s and some of the tier 1s as well, should be showing up over here on the screen. So thank you so much for everything. And I also wanted to just remind everybody that the Patreon is going to be shutting down at the end of July, by July 29th. So please don't support the Patreon anymore. And I will be leaving it active until the end of the month so that you can still enjoy the rest of the perks that are available through Patreon. So again, well, thanks a lot. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where I post every now and then, and on Twitch, where I should be getting back to streaming actually pretty much now. So thank you so much, and until next time, have a good one. Enjoy.